March 4th workout breakdown, arms and cardio day here. I will go out and just straight up say that this is definitely more arms than it is cardio. So the cardio pieces of this, try to take as serious as possible. It's also interval day, so if you are doing intervals or you want to start intervals, again, it's never too late. It's every 2 weeks. If you feel like you want to work on your aerobic foundation or your floor, this is the chance to do it. Again, when you typically do intervals, you should be committing to it for an extended period of time. Like, it's not really like there's a certain amount of time that works. It really just comes down to how consistent are you with coming to interval day, and how disciplined are you during interval day to keep chipping away and making those steps, those slow, grindy steps forward in terms of progression, because that's what intervals is. It is a repetitive, in nature, a very repetitive type of workout where, again, you have to do things very deliberately in order to see the appropriate progress as we work our way towards 1 mile repeats, whether you're rowing or you guys are running. But again, interval day is fantastic. I hope people always jump on the bandwagon and get started. And those of you doing it, power to you. Keep going. Keep trucking along there. I love seeing the progression of that. Now, the actual workout, rowing AMRAP. So you're going to start and end with this rowing AMRAP. It's 10 rounds, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Knowing that you get to start and end with it, I really wanted to put the ending of it on a separate slide. Sometimes I don't enjoy putting something we're going to repeat on the same slide, because I do think people will start playing a bias and kind of leaning into the fact that they know it's coming around for a second time. So I'm making this video in hopes that people don't do that. So 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Technically speaking, this should be at max output. So, and I might actually fill this into the slide now that I'm talking about it out loud. But again, max output is doing as much as you physically can in the 30 seconds on, under the assumption, not the assumption, you guys know that you're going to do this 10 times and it's only a 30-second rest. And although it is a 1-to-1 work to rest ratio, 30 seconds of max output with just a 30-second rest is actually very unfavorable. I know I often say a 1-to-1 work to rest ratio is pretty favorable. When it's this short and this bursty, I tend to lean that it's quite unfavorable. So it's probably I would go on a ledge to say a lot of people don't really know how aggressive they can be with just a 30-second rest, and I think this first time through is going to be pretty enlightening for a lot of us. So again, it's not going to be a dead sprint. Like, that's just not going to work. But again, max output, if you are typically, let's say we're doing like a 500-meter row and you're like a 2-minute split time rower, a 30-second max output, you're probably down like 150. Like, it is going to be a pretty big drop off here. Well, I guess, drop in your split, which is good, by the way. That means you're getting faster, not drop off necessarily, but a really big ramp up here from what you are typically used to, and that's kind of what we're encouraging and aiming for. So a very aggressive 10 rounds. You want to let the monitors accumulate. Everybody will be on the same clock here, so everybody will be rowing and resting at the exact same time. So I, again, encourage you to pay attention to your split time, find out what you can hold for these 30-second max intervals, and how many rounds you get through at that pace where the 30-second or the 1-to-1 work to rest ratio is just no longer working for you and you feel like you're really hanging on by a thread, and kind of mark that. Because again, when you get to it the second time around, the goal is obviously, if possible, to maintain what you did the first time, which, not gonna lie, probably not very possible if you did the first one right. But like, how far of a drop was it? How's the conditioning and the endurance hold up 20 minutes later, because you do have a 20-minute block in the middle. And again, if it's like 3 rounds in, you're just totally shot and you have no shot at doing what you did the first time around, it's good. It's a mental note. It's worth just noting that even with a 20-minute break, my muscular endurance, there's just not enough left in the tank for me to repeat something to that level of aggression, which again is very nice to reference in all the other workouts that we do all the time. We do stuff like this we do this kind of stuff pretty frequently. The 20 minutes in the middle, I wanted to explain this. Again, I think it's pretty black and white, but I think it's worth mentioning. Now, we've play tested this. Anybody that comes to play test a couple of times in the last couple of months, and I absolutely love it. So in terms for arm day, it's hyper efficient. It is a ton of volume in a very short amount of time. And I don't think it's bad volume. It is really, really, like I said, just hyper efficient in terms of how much you're getting done in such a short amount of time, which is why I love EMOM setups. So you guys are going to do technically like a superset, quote unquote, set of biceps, a set of triceps in the 2 minutes. So you have a full 2 minutes. You're going to do a set of biceps, set of triceps, rest for the remainder of the 2 minutes. And then you're going to repeat that 5 times. And then the back half, round 6 through 10, you're going to do a set of biceps and a set of triceps, again, 5 times with, resting the remainder of the 2 minutes. And in 20 minutes, you're going to end up doing 20 sets of primary lifts. Like, these are big arm lifts right here. And there shouldn't be any, there's no play on one another, right? The seated curls and the tricep extension, again, biceps and triceps are an agonist and an antagonist. So it just flows so spectacularly that getting 20 sets in 20 minutes, it's just so efficient. It makes me happy, and I hope people realize when you finish this, like, holy crap, how much you just did in just 20 minutes, which I digress, but is one of the reasons why anytime somebody says they don't have time to work out is kind of BS, because if you can do something like this in 20 minutes and get 20 sets done this effectively, it just proves that you don't need a ridiculous amount of time, especially on the lifting side, obviously depending on the muscles you're targeting here. So anyways, 33-minute block. I love this block like to death. I think it's absolutely awesome. And then again, the core EMOM here, we just did this, I think, like 10 days-ish prior to March 4th, roughly. Don't quote me on that. And again, I just like to get this in twice a month. Like, that's my main goal. Just find a way to weave this bad boy in. 2 times a month is all I aim for. Doesn't always work out that way, but getting one in on March 4th makes me feel confident that I should be able to get a second one in before April rolls around. But keep in mind, this core EMOM is fantastic. I think people are catching on and getting more and more comfortable understanding where they're at in terms of the rep count and the skill that they choose. And your goal, again, is to not only just increase the volume if you don't think you can go up a skill, but eventually increase the skill in what you're doing every minute on the minute. And in time, just slowly work your way up this list, or at least you're just increasing your capacity with the more volume per minute. But either way, you guys see these core EMOMs range anywhere from 8 to like 16 minutes, depending if we're doing 2 movements or 1. 10 minutes is the longest we'll go with just 1 movement. But either way, I think people really enjoy this. And yeah, I'm excited for this day.